Driving a BMW was my childhood dream. It's the closest thing I've ever come to pure performance and manipulation. Time has changed. When I became capable enough to pay for the obsessions of my youth, I suddenly realized that, in this era, you don't need a BMW to have the BMW vibe. The one on my right is a 2025 BMW i540L. The final on-road price is nearly 400,000 yuan. I chose it as a reference because even if you go to the 4S store now to buy the latest model, it's still familiar single-motor, rear air suspension, similar price, similar configuration, and on the left-hand side is the brand new Avatr 12 that just went on sale. With the same landing price, it's fully loaded with 3 motors and a full set of air suspensions. Some people will definitely raise questions after seeing these huge parameter gaps. Handling is never about hardware stacking, but the tuning skills that are the real soul. So this is the biggest highlight of this issue. Can BMW's century-old training skills make up for this huge hardware gap? In 2026, driving a BMW has become a standard from a brand. Today we will see if this new Avatr 12 with high technology can be rigid, or even beat the BMW itself. If you want to explore the soul, you must first have a good looking. Design is the first door in this competition. The BMW 5 Series was once an absolute aesthetic textbook. From the angel eyes of E60 to the kidney grille of F18. Classic indeed. And today's BMW i5, codenamed G68, to be honest, it's not ugly. But I no longer lose the amazing feeling that BMW used to give people. BMW's design aesthetic feeling in recent years has been a little off. It has lost the ability to lead the trend. And then I looked at the Avatr 12. It's completely different. At first glance, you will wonder how anyone could put a concept car into mass production. Since its inception, it has relied on extremely high originality to kill all directions, especially the extremely bold rear window design. The lines are very futuristic. Even if you just throw it into Cyberpunk 2077, there is no sense of incompatibility. Open the door. The sense of disparity in this era has really been further magnified. The BMW 5 Series has chosen the safest but also the laziest floating dual screen. There's nothing wrong with this design, but it lacks ingenuity. The new Avatr 12 is equipped with a 35.4-inch 4K panoramic widescreen across the main and passenger's field of vision, plus this warm touch of Napa full-grain genuine leather. It can be said to combine future technology with top luxury. Whether it's original courage or the visual beauty, I think this time the BMW i5 that went astray actually lost to the pioneer of the time's new Avatr 12. At least in terms of design. The reason why people drive a BMW instead of an Audi or a Cadillac is because of BMW's tuning skills, especially in terms of the chassis. It can be said to be unparalleled in the world, even from the parameters. Other cars may be better, but when it comes to subjective driving experience, BMW must be better. This has been fully validated on the fuel car. So how does the BMW do on the EV? Sorry, still strong. Although the i540L is a basic single-motor model. But whether it's the linearity of the dynamics, or the tracking of the whole body on the corners, or the control of this roll. In terms of driving body feeling, it still performs better and better than many top-equipped dual-motor models. Lots of big cars are comfortable, but they are not a car for drivers. Although the BMW i5 is a luxury C-Class sedan, but it still meets the driving standards of driving a BMW. But there's another saying that's very, very good. There is nothing in the world that dual motors cannot solve. If there is, then use 3 motors. What's more, it is a 3-motor with a distributed electric drive. This means it can bend faster than single and dual motors. Let's first recall. What's it like to drive a high-powered, single-motor rear-drive sedan approaching its limits on a mountain road? When you enter a corner, the center of gravity is thrown outward, and the inner wheels inevitably lose traction. At this time, even if it is as strong as BMW, its tuning can't break the laws of physics. You have to be patient, hold the accelerator, and come out of the corner slowly. If you lose control mid-corner and floor the throttle, the tires will instantly lose traction. The rear of the car will become restless. This is not any driving pleasure. For most people, this is the beginning of an accident. Traditional body stabilization systems necessarily intervene to limit power for the sake of saving the car and safety. Although BMW's electronic control has been made extremely delicate and silky, but don't dare to step on the accelerator too early to get out of the corner, which is a physical shackle in the corner of the single-motor rear-drive car. But the Avatr 12's distributed motor just smashed the shackles. One on the front axle, and the rear axle hides two completely independent motors. This means that the power to the left and right rear wheels is no longer distributed. Instead, they fight each other and output accurately. When you're in a corner, the electronic control system is sensitive to the change of attitude at the speed of milliseconds. It no longer constrains power like a traditional gasoline car, but moves the power. It will unleash its furious torque onto the outside wheel with better grip. And then there's the most amazing moment of the car. Drive the Avatr 12 around the corner. Your driving rhythm will be completely subverted in the depths of the bend. When the traditional rear-drive fuel car is still holding the accelerator and waiting for the body posture to return to normal. You can already step on the accelerator earlier and bolder. Aim at the exit point, and decisively step on the accelerator. At this moment, the outer rear wheels at full output will generate an extremely powerful inward thrust. It's like a pair of giant hands forcibly broke the front of your car to the bend of the heart. There is almost no extra sliding. The power output is consistent throughout the process. It perfectly translates the violent torque into extremely sharp tracking. Allows you to far exceed the higher speeds of single-motor models, with a large accelerator and a very aggressive and precise posture to kick you out of the corner. This kind of exciting acceleration, plus that kind of overpowering corner exit speed. In terms of the single dimension of cornering speed, the physical advantage brought by the three-motor torque vector is indeed a shortcoming that cannot be made up for even by top-level tuning of single-motor models. Not only does it have handling benefits in corners, distributed electric drive also brings safety. High-speed tire blowout does not deviate from the lane. A tire blows, three motors correct torque immediately. This is the most top-level rescue method. In addition, the Avatr 12 is also equipped with a backup braking system, even if there is a 1 in 10,000 chance that the hydraulic brakes will fail. The backup brakes also reduce the speed of the car from 120 km per hour to 90 km per hour in just 5 seconds. Avatr's careful consideration of redundancy in driving safety is really surprising. It's not that BMW's tuning is not good, it's that the technological gears of our time are finally shifting to a new track. Besides cornering control, the core of daily opening to the end is hidden in a hardcore parameter, suspension offset frequency. I'm sure you've all experienced that crossing the same section of rotten road at a certain speed is actually the most bumpy. When we exceed that speed, or a little slower than that speed, we feel less bumpy. That's the frequency of the bumps in the road hitting the natural offset of the chassis that resonates. As long as this point is broken, the car will enter a stable and effective shock isolation zone. To make the whole car comfortable throughout the journey, the prerequisite is that the warp frequencies of the front and rear axles must be highly coordinated. If the front wheels enter the comfort zone, but the rear wheels are still resonating, the front and rear shake independently, there will be a significant pulling sensation. The BMW i540L uses a combination of front mechanical spring and rear air suspension. Its fundamental flaw lies in the fact that the stiffness of the front axle spring is fixed by the manufacturer at the factory. When fully loaded or running on continuous undulating roads, the front axle offset frequency will float randomly with the load. The rear bridge is suspended, but it can automatically lock the optimal value. This asymmetry of movement is like putting two legs on a car with inconsistent pace. Under complex road conditions, there will inevitably be a huge sense of fragmentation in the body movement, and the new Avatr 12 is directly full of 4 empty wheels, and equipped with Tie-Hang Intelligent Control 2.0. It solves this problem from the root cause. No matter how many people are in the car, or what mode is selected, four-wheel spring stiffness and damping can be adjusted synchronously in milliseconds. The front and rear axles always step on the same beat. It maximizes the effective shock isolation area. It's just that when we are all seeking a calm and comfortable life, the physical limitations imposed by hardware are ultimately an insurmountable gap for tuning. Just like three motors changed the rules of cornering, the full air suspension also redefines the standard for luxury chassis at this price point. The chassis determines whether you drive comfortably, and intelligent driving determines whether you are tired. If you ask me, what is the level of intelligence of the new Avatr 12? And as a media person who has experienced this firsthand, I can only say one thing about it. Self-driving without any modifiers. When we came back, I drove it for a while. Everyone should know that kind of wild mountain road, which not only has potholes, but the ground lines are also blurred. If you drive a BMW i5 at this time, its assisted driving system is out of service. As soon as the ground markings are broken, the system will immediately strike. You have to take over the control yourself. But on the new Avatr 12, all systems come standard with Huawei 896-line LiDAR, combined with Huawei Qianquan ADS. After opening the smart drive, the experience is not the same level at all. It doesn't rely on clear markings at all. Encounter the kind of infinite narrow road that can only barely meet two cars. Or the electric bike and tricycle that suddenly popped out on the side of the road, it handled it extremely well. It's like a really reliable old driver taking over the steering wheel for you, allowing you to truly relax. This is the real smart car that can be used well. Combine the latest listing information. The new Avatr 12 is very direct in terms of practicality this time, without any false gimmicks. First is the power form. It's launched with both range extender and pure electric versions. If you need long-distance driving, go for the range extender. Don't hesitate, which completely solves the range anxiety. If you prefer pure electric vehicles, it is equipped with the latest 6C ultra-fast charging battery from CATL, delivering an extremely fast charging speed. It's already charged when you enter the service area to buy a cup of coffee. Secondly, the configuration. If you buy a BMW i5 and want a seat ventilation massage or a better stereo, you will probably have to add money to choose it. And the new Avatr 12 doesn't play tricks. It's fully equipped at the entry level. The whole series is directly equipped with up to 12 core luxury configurations as standard. It truly sets an extremely high standard in terms of daily driving experience and sincere customer-oriented efforts. In the past, if the tram built by the traditional BBA is compared to the dual electric tram made by the domestic New Power, the gap can be bridged through brand power and adjustment skills. So today, when you drive this 3-motor Avatr 12, compare it to the BMW i5. And what you find is that these huge gaps in hardware generation are hard to keep up with, from its highly original and pioneering design, to the 3-motor full air suspension chassis quality, to the addition of all-scenario intelligent driving 6C supercharging. The new Avatr 12 has become the first choice for luxury cars for 500,000 yuan. Driving a BMW used to be the obsession of a generation, but in 2026, the new Avatr 12 is proof that luxury standards for the next era have been redefined.